Hello, everyone, and welcome to Big League Dreaming, the podcast, the show about baseball, dreams, and family. I'm Ty Gonzalez, the dad, and if you're new to the podcast or a regular long-time listener, you know that it's a dad and his three sons talking about the game that they love. Today, we're talking about the minor league baseball playoffs, mainly our West Michigan Whitecaps, the high A affiliate of the Detroit Tigers, still in first place, by the way. I can say that because we're streaming live right now, and if you're watching us on the live, hello everyone, and if you are watching this on the replay or on another format or another platform later in the week, that's cool too. I guarantee you the Tigers will be in first place at least for the next week because they're 8.5 games up on the KC Royals. Let's say hello to son number one, who's the only son on today's podcast. The other two are sleeping, I hope. It's Ty Gonzalez, based in Grand Rapids. Ty, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to talk to a little bit something different today, other than the MLB. We get to talk about the minor leagues today.
We do get to talk about the minor leagues real quick, though, on the major league level. I happened to watch, you and I went to the Mets-Tigers game at Comerica on Monday, Labor Day, and that was a total fiasco.
That was a good
Tigers
game.
had a chance to win. It's a good game, yeah, for Mets fans.
It was back and forth.
It was a good game. You're right.
Tigers tied it up.
It was a good game. You were there with your father-in-law, who's from the Bronx. So, he's from Brooklyn. No, he's from Bronx, right? Or Brooklyn?
Yep, he's from the Bronx.
From the Bronx. I love it when friends that we were hanging out with said, "Yeah, we can hear it in your voice."
Oh yeah.
So both of you guys are Mets fans, and it just turns out that you happen to be a Mets fan. All three of the sons, by the way, folks, are fans of different Major League Baseball teams, not their hometown Tigers. So that's a different topic for a different podcast. Like Ty said, we are talking about the minor leagues. And Ty, growing up, the whole family grew up there in Grand Rapids. We were huge Whitecaps fans. In fact, I love your shirt you got on, representing your Whitecaps Tigers affiliate. The Tigers have been there in Grand Rapids for a couple decades now. I'm going to say many years, but it's been a couple decades. Yep, there you go. Number one, Whitecaps fans. You guys grew up going to the ball games as little kids, and that's kind of our home that we love to. It's our second home that we like to say.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I still tell people at work all the time. They'll be like, "Yeah, you grew up around here, right? Where at?" And I just say, "Oh, you know where the Whitecaps are? Yeah, that's basically my backyard. That was basically where I grew up, Caps Field."
Yep, that's where Big League Dreaming all started, right? When you did your rap album, also called Big League Dreaming. In fact, if people want to go searching for it down a rabbit hole, they can. Big League Dreaming, the podcast, is actually named after Big League Dreaming, your album that you recorded. Gosh, has that been 10 years yet?
8 years.
Yeah.
8 years in the summer, yep.
We're going to have to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of that.
Almost
album.
10 years, yep.
Yeah, so it's been a great year. It's been a great run, actually. The Tigers have just been on fire the last couple of years. The minor leagues have been bubbling up with extreme talent. You look at the current day roster of the Tigers, and I would think almost every player that's come up through the farm system has played. And in West Michigan, we've been blessed over the years to see some great players, right?
Yeah, we've got to see everyone. It was fun going to that Tigers game on Monday, and I was sitting there with my father-in-law, and he was like, How many of these guys have played for the Whitecaps?" I'm like, "Well, let's see, Wenzel Perez, Spencer Torkelson." I'm going through like half the guys on the lineup. I was like, "Oh, he was a Whitecap too." It's like really cool that we get to see all these guys before they're in the MLB, and it seems like a lot of players we saw, they go to the Tigers. Like I'm sure there was a lot of trades going on too, but it seems like they always end up on the Tigers, then they get traded.
Yeah.
Like Maben and Castellanos, and it's cool. You get to see that full journey as Whitecaps to Tigers a lot of the times.
You can go back decades, really, and follow it all. I think too, the other thing about the Whitecaps, they're high A, and I think we forget sometimes that there's also double A and triple A, right?
Yeah.
But they're all different types of leagues where double A is really kind of like the prospects are getting better, and the baseball is getting better, and we were finding out whether they're major league caliber. Triple A can be a hit and miss, people going up, people coming down. People rehabbing, it can be a little bit of a mishmash. I think high A, double A, kind of some of the best baseball you're going to see. No offense to the triple A players out there, because I know that they're working hard to either get back to the big leagues or get to the big leagues. So it's a grind. But West Michigan, blessed to have some great baseball. Let's talk a little bit about the playoffs, because I know that this is that time of year when I know Major League Baseball fans like ourselves, we're really concerned about the race. We've got 20 games left to play. Can the Tigers keep this lead? Can the Mets hold on to their wild card? All right. There's a lot of little scenarios playing out. But in the minor leagues, it's typically the first half champion versus the second half champion. Why do you think they do that, Ty?
I was thinking about this morning, and I think my guess is why they do it is because for like the Whitecaps, for example, this year they had those 3 huge prospects playing the first half of the season. So you had Max Clark, Jose Briseño, and Kevin McGonigal just tearing it up, and they were like unstoppable that first half of the season. So it's pretty amazing that they've kept that going the second half of the season. Without those 3 players, they have a lot of other good players that are stepping up, but I feel like they split it into 2 halves maybe, because maybe halfway through the season they lose a lot of their talent, but they still had a really good season. So I feel like they kind of reward them for getting through like a really good chunk of the season, and then when they lose some guys, if the team falls off, it's not really, they still had an amazing half of a season. So I think maybe that's why they do it.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, because it's such it's so fluid, right? Players are moving up. Some players aren't really progressing. There's injuries. A lot can happen through the course of a minor league season, just like in the major leagues. But with the Whitecaps, you pointed out something really interesting there. They've been able to maintain the success of not only last year, but this year, and what the prospects moving up and down, or moving up mainly. I think, didn't they just clinch their 90th win of the season?
Yeah, I think Thursday night was their 90th win, which that was the first team in all of baseball, all levels, to get to 90 wins. And I think they're like 90, well, they lost last night, so 90-39 maybe, which is just unreal. They actually won the second half of the season too. So they won the first half and the second half.
And that's with Max Clark, McGonigal, and Briseño all moving up, who, by the way, they're doing great at Erie. Erie is in the playoffs as well in Double-A, the Tigers Double-A affiliate. And they're rolling too. I mean, they've got some great players because they all came from the Whitecaps.
Yeah.
So they're in the playoffs. I think the Gulf Tigers are also in the playoffs. The Flying Tigers are also in the playoffs too. I was looking at how other Tiger affiliates were doing. So they've been very successful, top and bottom. Another interesting wrinkle, I was just talking to you off the air before we went live, is the Tigers have a couple players there in West Michigan on rehab.
Yeah, I think earlier this week, Paul Sewald threw a couple innings, I think I read, on a rehab assignment. He's been out for a long time, hasn't he?
Yeah, he was, let's see if I can get this, I know I've got it here somewhere. So yeah, Sewald came over to the Tigers at trade deadline. He's got a right shoulder strain. He was transferred to the 60-day IL on August 1st. So, there was a lot of speculation whether he'd even pitch for the Tigers, coming over at the trade deadline. But it says there his expected return is September 10th. He pitched a scoreless inning with a walk and a strikeout for West Michigan on September 4th to begin his rehab assignment. He'll throw another outing for West Michigan this weekend. So, he's probably going to pitch. He might pitch, when we see him. If you see him tonight, I might go to the game tonight. The Tigers or the Whitecaps play today and Sunday, and then they'll start the playoffs next weekend or next week. So yeah, he could throw, and that's interesting, to see a player that could help the Tigers in the playoff runs, as they're finishing up their season here in West Michigan.
Yeah, it's always fun to see the players come through the Whitecaps on the rehab assignments. I got their roster pulled up. Looks like they have a few other players. I'm not sure if I know these guys. Dylan Smith looks like he might be an Erie Seawolf.
Yeah, he definitely is also a pitcher that could help the Tigers down the road. I don't know whether he's projected for this year, but
and then there's a Lyle Lockhart. Looks like he's Toledo guy.
Don't know,
but he's on rehab assignment too for the Whitecaps.
Yeah. The only player, both Dylan Smith and Sewald are on the 40-man roster for the Tigers, so it's possible we'll see those guys here. Speaking of playoffs, so let's talk about the Whitecaps situation. They clinched the first half, so they're automatically in. They clinch, I guess, the second half, but someone else they have to play someone else. They can't split the team up and play each other.
Yeah, I think I read they clinched it like a week ago, the second half of the season.
Just crazy. Who will the Whitecaps play next week in the playoffs?
They'll play the champions from last year, Lake County Captains, who are Guardians affiliate.
My goodness.
Yep. which I think we went to a game where they played last year. They had a lot of good prospects. So I think they've lost some of those prospects, but they're still, they're going to be in the playoffs against the Whitecaps. So they're still a good team.
Yeah, I'm going through their Twitter feed right now, and yeah, they're pretty cocky. They've got the goggles on. They're celebrating their. That says here. One of the tweets says, "Defending champs know how to celebrate."
Almost seems like we might see a little rivalry brewing between these two teams.
You know it. If they won last year's Midwest League Championship, and the Whitecaps have been so good this year, I expect a battle. Now you're going to go to the. I know that it opens what day? What day is the first game, Ty?
First game is Tuesday, I
Okay.
believe. It's at Lake County, and then they travel to West Michigan Wednesday, and then they'll play Thursday game 2, and then they'll play Friday if necessary game 3. And I think
All
that
right.
would be at the Whitecaps as well.
All at LMCU ballpark. Um, which by the way we love. We love LMCU ballpark.
I saw a game earlier this year because I feel like I've been following the Whitecaps more, like maybe even more than the Mets this year, just because it's been so exciting. Um, but there was a game earlier this year, like when McGonigal was still on the team, and they kind of like, I don't know if it was Lake County or if it was someone else. I'll have to look through my phone and see who it was, but they kind of like threw at McGonigal.
Really?
Yeah, it like looked like there was like a little rivalry starting, and it looked like benches were going to clear. So I don't know if that was against Lake County or not, but if it was, we could see an interesting series.
Well, the Lake County is also the Baseball America Team of the Year in 2024. So they've had some success over there. By the way, Lake County is in East Lake, Ohio. And that's where, and like Ty said, they are an affiliate of the Guardians, which is one of the rivalries
Lose ya.
for the Tigers in the American League Central. So I expect 3 tough games. I mean, they might have the home field advantage on Tuesday, but Ty, I know you're going to be at the game on Thursday, and I don't know if I can. I might see if I can get out there. I've got some stuff going on Thursday. If there's an if necessary game on Friday, Ty, I'll be there for sure on that game because my schedule opens up on Friday night. So
Yeah, you got to go to the deciding game if there is one. Hopefully there isn't one. Hopefully they just win. Well, I mean they could lose Tuesday, so they'd have to win 2.
yeah, it would depend on the matchups from there and what happens from there. So, all right, well that's the good recap of where the Whitecaps are going. I know that I haven't dove into the roster of like who's been replacing some of those star players that moved up. I have been watching McGonigal over at Double A Erie, and he seems to be, I haven't seen much about Max Clark. I know he hit a few home runs over there, but McGonigal seems to be the one that everyone is focused on right now. He's popping up number 1 on a lot of lists. He's surpassed Max Clark in potential. I know Tiger fans want to see him as early as this year, like bring him up for the playoffs now, which I don't think is the plan.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be the plan or a good idea. I think the Tigers are probably kind of slow going after Torkelson with some of these players.
Yeah,
Probably
they were rushing
taking their
him.
time, yeah. And the Tigers, they have so many good bench guys, so there's no really need to bring up any of these young guys too soon for the playoffs. They have so many. I mean, when we were at the game Monday and they brought in Kerry Carpenter to pinch hit, I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's not even in the starting lineup today. Almost hits a home run.
Yeah,
That's a guy on your bench with almost 30 home runs.
yeah, the Tigers have been doing a masterful job mixing and matching lineups. No 2 lineups are the same every day. McKinstry could go from third to short to right field in one game,
Yeah.
and then be pinch hit by Ibanez, who hits a 2-run home run, right? So you just don't know what's gonna happen with that Tigers team, and it's fun to see too at the minor league level where organizations like the Tigers, they start to like, this is what we preach, this is how we play, this is what we do, this is your role on the team, and I think it gives hope for these minor league players to see a team like the Tigers have success where every person on the roster has a role and you can actually feel like part of the team, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the Whitecaps, yeah, they're always mixing guys out, pinch hitting through the game, and yeah, they're kind of doing the same thing the Tigers are doing. The Whitecaps, um, after losing those big three guys, it didn't seem like they lost any momentum at all. I mean, they're scoring so many runs every game. Like every time I usually get an email in the morning, I'll kind of skim through it, and it seems like every game they play, someone's hitting home run. Like they're putting up 19 runs, 15 runs. I mean, they can hit. They're scoring a lot of runs.
Yeah. Well, the Whitecaps will wrap up their home or the regular season this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, September 6 and 7. I believe tonight is a night game, tomorrow's afternoon game where it's a kids' day. Get out there and enjoy the kids if you get a chance to go to see some. I think they play the Tin Caps this weekend, and then those playoffs begin Tuesday at Lake County Captains, East Lake, Ohio, and then we'll return for that first home game on Thursday, September 11th. Ty will be there, and if there's an if necessary game, I think both of us will be there, right? Ty, are you available Friday night if there's if necessary?
I think so. I don't think we have a wedding that weekend.
We can do a Big League Dreaming podcast live from the stadium. I'm sure the Whitecaps will be kind enough to give us a little space somewhere in a suite, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Listen to me, I'm already asking for a suite.
Live broadcast the game. That'd be fun. Yeah, I just
well,
pulled up the stats real quick before we end this, but I did the team stats hitting. So Lake County's second in RBIs. They have 572 RBIs as a team, Lake County. And then the first team, Whitecaps, 702 RBIs.
Wow.
Yeah, almost 200 more RBIs.
Scoring runs, just like you said.
They're just scoring. Yeah, they're scoring a lot. 125 home runs. Next team's 109.
Wow.
Yeah,
dominant.
So they're going to score.
All right. Well, there probably won't be an if necessary then. Right. They can wrap it up on Thursday. That'd be fine.
I mean, as long as the pitching doesn't give up like 6 runs, they're bound to score more than 6 runs. It seems like 700 RBIs in a season. That's a lot.
It is a lot. Hey, real quick before we wrap it up, though, Ty, I should mention that the Arizona Fall League begins October 6th. The regular season will end November 12th. You're thinking, why are we mentioning the Fall League? Because once these minor league playoffs are done throughout the country, right, at AAA, AA, High A, and Low A, once these playoffs are done, the best of the best will head over to the Arizona Fall League, where we'll see players like Jose Briseño emerging, right? Last year's Triple Crown winner. And they've expanded their playoffs as well, which will go into, they have a home run derby. They'll have a Stars game in November. And then they have their championship game wrapping up November 14th and 15th. So we'll have to talk a little bit Arizona Fall League. It'd be fun to road trip it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
We have never done that. That should be our next road trip.
Yeah, it would be good.
All right, Ty, why don't you sign us out, buddy? And it's been fun talking to you. Good luck at the Whitecaps. Good luck at your wedding today. Not your wedding. You're DJing a wedding. Good luck for that.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for everyone listening to this live stream edition today. Big League Dreaming the podcast. If you want to listen to our other podcast, you can go to wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Big League Dreaming the podcast. And of course, here on YouTube, Saturdays, 9 a.m. usually. And we'll see you on the next one.
Take care, everyone.